Ready? All right, we're starting a new month, and typically this month is the month where a lot of people will focus on romance because Valentine's Day is in the middle of it. And so I was guided by Spirit to also look at relationships this month. So we're going to play with energies because it is a month that focuses on romance. We're not going to focus on romance, but we are going to use partnerships as our platform to teach from, like marital partnerships. So what you're going to learn today can be used anywhere. It can be used in any relationship that you have with anyone. So this is just the easiest to portray. So are you guys ready? I'm going to ask my IQ players to take the stage with me today. Here we have a couple, Charmaine and Bill, and they're going to have a discussion, and this is what you would see in the outer world if you were eavesdropping.
Hey, honey, I want to show you something. Look, they just arrived, the invitations that I made for my sister's wedding shower. Aren't they so cute?
And how much did they cost?
Well, they didn't cost much. I thought I got a really good deal. They were $125 for everything.
$125? That's outrageous. For invitations? You could have printed them for a lot less.
Hey, now, I make money too.
I'm just saying that's a lot. Is this our wedding present to her?
It's not. I can't believe that you're fighting over $100.
It's $125. And we're supposed to agree on everything we spend, like a team?
Oh, yeah? I don't remember you asking permission to buy those golf clubs, you know? Those really expensive golf clubs?
That's for my work. I have to be able to show up and impress my clients.
Oh, yeah, well, I get it. This team isn't working for me.
If you would work it, it would.
Okay, there we have it. So from this conversation, you can see that our husband and our wife are not on the same page. You may think the conversation is about control or money, but we really want to look and see what is happening behind their words. We have our inner voices, and the inner voices cannot hear each other. They can only hear what the outer person is saying. So her inner voice doesn't hear his inner voice. But let's now replay this conversation and let us hear what the inner voices are actually saying.
Hey, honey, I want to show you something. Look, the invitations came today. They're the ones that I made for my sister's wedding shower. Aren't they so cute?
Oh, yes, look at that. They are just adorable. I picked out the colors and I arranged your name so it'd be perfectly there in the center. Oh, and look in there in the corner, the little curly cues. Oh my gosh, they're just so cute. I did such an amazing job.
And how much did they cost?
I don't like your sister.
Well, they didn't cost much. I got a really good deal, I think. $125 for everything.
Oh, and just look at those cute little curly cues there in the corner. I really did such a good job. Just look at those.
$125? That's outrageous. For invitations, you could have printed them for a lot less.
Spending your money, spending our money on your sister again. A little here, a little there. Really?
Hey now, I make money too.
Listen here, mister. I go to work every day and work my tail off for this family of ours. And I have every right to spend a merely $100. I don't know what your problem is, but I am not going to show you anything anymore.
I'm just saying that's a lot. Is this our wedding present to her?
Every time she needs anything, all she has to do is call. For years, I don't like your sister.
No, it's not. I can't believe that you're fighting over $100.
Oh boy, now. I am going to buy her the best wedding present ever. And guess what? It's with your money, too. And you're never going to know about it. I am never showing you anything ever again.
It's $125, and we're supposed to discuss everything that we spend together, you know, like a team.
I am so tired of your sister controlling you. If anybody's supposed to control you, it's supposed to be me.
Oh, yeah. I don't recall you asking permission to buy those golf clubs. You know, those really expensive golf clubs.
You spend whatever you want to spend. Oh, buddy, you just created a monster. No more. I am free of your double standard.
That's for my work. I have to be able to show up and impress my clients.
I have the right to support my work. Your sister supports us in no way.
Yeah, well, I get it. This team isn't working for me.
Done. D-O-N-E. Done. We're done.
Yeah, well, if you'd work it, it would work.
It's your fault. I don't like your sister.
Okay, now I want you to really look at what is really being said. So I'm going to ask the husband and wife to step to the side for a moment, and I want you just to hear the inner voices and realize what each person is really feeling. And they do not hear what the other is feeling. Go.
Oh, just look at them. Look how cute these invitations are. I picked out the color, and her name is perfectly there in the center. Oh, and their little curly cues up there in the corner. They're just, oh, they're so stinking cute. I did such an amazing job.
I don't like your sister.
Oh, those little curly cues in the corner, though. I just can't get over them. They're so cute. I really did do a good job. Just look at them.
Spending money on your sister again. Really? A little here, a little there. Is it ever going to stop?
Listen here, mister. I go to work every day and work my tail off for this family of ours, and I have every right to spend a merely $100. So I don't know what your problem is, but I am never showing you anything ever again.
Every time she needs anything, all she has to do is ask. For years, it's every time. I don't like your sister.
Oh boy. Now I'm gonna buy her the best wedding present ever. And with your money. And you'll never know about it. But I am never showing you anything ever again.
I am so tired of her controlling you. If anybody's supposed to control you, it's supposed to be me.
You spend whatever you want. Oh, buddy, you just created a monster. No more. I am so free from your double standard.
I have every right to support my work. Your sister gives nothing to this family in any way.
Team? You say team? I am done. We are so done here.
It is your fault. I don't like your sister.
Okay, now how many arguments have you had where you could not be heard? What you were really feeling could not be heard by the other person. Can you guys see that all she wanted from him was to have some appreciation for her talent? She did something beautiful. She just wanted him to like it. Can you see that he couldn't see that? All he saw was his dislike of her sister. She has and she has no idea that's what's prompting him. Can you see how these conversations don't even relate to each other? Yes. Yet we live in relationships that can perpetuate this. So Spirit said, she will never learn about her sister. She is focused on his rejection of her talents. And it hurts her. So she will never show him anything again. She shuts down. He is focused on the power her sister has over her. So he is trying to gain power. Both not hearing the other. Spirit said this, a truth that cannot be shared feels like a hidden agenda. So let us see what would happen if the couple, our original couple, filtered in a little bit of truth into the conversation.
Hey, honey, I want to show you something. Look, the invitations arrived. The ones that I made for my sister's wedding shower. Aren't they so cute? I mean, I picked the color, and I picked the words and arranged it so that her name is right in the center. Look, aren't the cute curly cues in the corner so cute?
I'm sorry, honey. I just don't like your sister.
Just look at what I did. Just look at them.
They're beautiful. How much were they?
They were only $125. It was a great deal.
Well, you know I still get irritated about your sister. Every time she needs something, she turns to you. Every time.
Listen, I know who my sister is and how she is. But I'm still grateful that we are able to do a little something for her every now and then.
Yep.
I just hate for her to think she can control you.
I don't care what she thinks. I do what I want to do because I love her.
Look, I know we're supposed to be a team, but sometimes I just can't join you in your generosity. But I love you for it.
That's okay. Yeah. I like doing it myself, and I did a great job, didn't I? I mean, look, they look amazing.
They really do. So I suppose we're going to have to buy her a nice wedding present as well.
A very nice wedding present.
She's still not my favorite.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
What we learned was that in relationships, communication is very important, and clarity in those communications. When we feel guarded in any way, which is what we are taught to do from childhood, to guard our communication, things we need to say aren't said. And as metaphysical Christians, we want to learn to communicate in a way that reveals a portion of our truth and where we are comfortable enough with the truth we are sharing. I know that your boss might come to you and say, what have you done on the project I assigned to you yesterday? And if you say to that boss, well, I've been praying on it, that may not be fine with that boss. You know? So the truth of you having been in prayer over it and waiting for the divine guidance may not be appropriately received. That's totally understood. But there are ways to communicate your truth. I am being with it. I'm in the creative mode, boss. I'm on it. So you see, there are ways to communicate our truth where who we are is represented in that moment. So, We need to learn to act in a way that our truth is not veiled. We can see our couple integrating a little bit of their truth. They were able to come to a certain amount of harmony and peace. And when both are doing this, it lessens the judgment, and then they can be content not to agree. Is everybody clear? Let's breathe. I have another little scenario to share with you about a young couple. So we'll have our young couple come in.
Can you believe what's happening?
What do you mean?
It's all over the news. The Falcons are letting go their best players, and they're keeping the worst coach in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, that.
I can't believe they're not looking at the talent they have. Why would they foster a strategy that continuously leads them back to the loser's circle?
Yeah.
Are you listening to me?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm just waiting for you to say something that I haven't heard before.
All right. When we hear phrases that we have continually heard, like the loser circle, and we know that the words that are going to follow that phrase are going to be the same words that we have heard before, it makes it very difficult for us to listen. But we will tell our stories until we heal them.
Okay, dear, would it be better for you if I pretended I was listening? Pretended that I hadn't heard all of this? And by all, I mean all of what you're going to say 100 times. Would that be better for you?
Yes.
Okay. Wait a minute. How about this time I get to ask the questions? Just a few, and then you answer them this time.
Okay.
Great. I get to start.
But I want to talk.
You'll get to talk. Now, why is this guy the worst coach in the whole NFL? And go.
I mean, I really want to like the guy. I wish it should be better, but the consistency year over year is just so bad. It starts from the top and works its way all the way down to the bottom.
Okay. Did you enjoy? Yes. All right. In this little scenario, we're being reminded that we need to tell our stories until we heal them. The young man may have a history of sports issues, unfairness, being overlooked. We don't know. All we know is that he needs to speak, and he would really like his wife to pretend like she hasn't heard it before. But when that happens, have you ever been talking with someone and you just, in your mind, you say, oh, please make them stop. Again. So what we want to do is realize that if our brains are thinking the same thoughts over and over and over again, which they likely are, science tells us that we do, it's also likely that we speak the same things over and over again. And this is all of us. We'll get into our little stories. We'll get into what has worked and what hasn't. Speaking new words, even about the same subject, help us see things differently. So if someone starts to tell you a story, or if you start to tell a story that has the feeling of, I need to tell it one more time, you might want to just ask, if you are listening, ask questions. Look at it differently. See if they can get a different slant on it, because they're really looking to understand it differently. That's why they're speaking it. When we tell our stories, we're talking to ourselves. You know that. And I have one story, that something that happened to me when I was 14, 15. It was religious persecution. I promised myself I will never tell that story again, but oh my God, if you name the religion in front of me, I have to almost tie myself up and gag myself to not tell you what happened to me, you know? And how many times have I told it? A lot. I even went to their religious place to forgive them many years ago, but I still tell the story. And it's something within me that needs to still heal. And I recognize that, and I just do my best. but I'm not going to tell you the story now. Yay me! You've all heard it. I'm sure you've all heard it. Okay. What I wanted you to see through the examples is relationships are all about communication. You realize that. And if you're making someone guess, in our first scenario, about where you stand, the relationship is not ever going to grow beyond it. Do you understand? It is so much easier not to agree with someone than it is to misunderstand and harbor ill will. Our first scenario of the couple, when the girl said to that guy, I'm never going to show you anything again, I guarantee you that was step one to divorce. And if she didn't heal it, they would be divorced probably in 6 years. It probably wouldn't last past that. And she would never know why she's divorcing the guy. She would never know why he didn't appreciate her. So these hidden things, if we could, as metaphysical Christians, begin to communicate in a way that represents our relationship with God. You know, when you relate to God, you don't take your stories and you don't take your half-truths, do you? You know, you might go, God, why is this happening again? You might be upset, but you're still going to listen. Because you're asking, so I must be ready to listen. And the cleanest space that you'll ever find is going into meditation. When you go into meditation, the thoughts have to leave. The stories have to stop. Everything has to become still. And then you can go into relationship with Creator and your higher self and your inner being. But everything has to become quiet. That vulnerability, that willingness to hear, that willingness to see something new and different, we can actually move into our conscious minds as we're walking on the planet. We don't have to think we already know that we know. We could approach even the mundane things with that expectancy that we could learn greater, that something wonderful new could come from this. Does this make sense to you? All right. So, integrating truth is one of our first steps that we want to really begin to look at. Telling our stories. If you need to tell it, but realize you're doing it. I'm going to tell you my story, and I'm going to let you ask questions maybe, and I'm going to hopefully figure out why I'm telling it all the time. I know you know someone that does this. You don't, right? Okay. So, truth. If I integrate some truth, my story may change. It may change a little bit. And if I'm caught in somebody else's story, being asked to listen to their story, maybe I can employ some new techniques as well. When we listen and we expect engagement. You know, you're in a lecture. You don't expect to answer me, do you? But I asked you a question, didn't I? You expect to nod yes or no. You don't expect to start telling me an answer that's lengthy. But when you're in conversation with someone, you should expect engagement. You should expect that there will be give and take, that you will listen, you will share, blah, 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 blah. When you get into a moment where someone is telling a story and you can see that there is no expectation of engagement, what could you do? You could engage. Wait, I'm still here. Yeah, what a great story. Hey, wait, stop that. Let me really hear what you just said before you go any further. You know, let me say this about that, or let me add my 2 cents here, and then we'll pick up where we left off. Engagement, where there's energy flowing back and forth. It's not a lecture and a conversation. And how often in relationships do you feel like you're in a lecture? We want conversation. Now, if it's a lecture, be very clear. I am lecturing you right now. You know? And I need to say this, and so don't say anything. But be clear about what you're doing. Most of the time, we don't want to do that. We want to expect interaction and engagement. And we need to listen as if something amazing is going to be said, something we've never heard before. When we are really communicating, we are participating. And if we could get that, communication is participation. When we are communicating with someone, we are co-creating and participating in a moment together. Energy is flowing. Anytime you are in relationship with anything, there is energy that goes back and forth. Anytime. If it's a stranger you meet on the street or someone you've known for many, many years. We want to let the energy flow, and we want to expect new. No one person has the right to win or to be right. Sharing does not equal agreeing. Sharing does not equal agreeing. We can certainly not agree and hold our position of what's comfortable for us. And you don't have to trash the relationship because you don't agree. You find ways to move in the beautiful sea of God love. You can say, I behold, you are a child of God. And you're choosing to stay in that puddle. Good. Make some good splashes. I'm going to be over here, child of God, doing what I need to do. Honoring that each one is having the experience they need for their healing. Could anybody relate to what has been said? All right. Can anybody take these tools out into the world and do it differently? All right, let's go anchor them then. God, we ask that your infinite love just begin to engulf and enfold us. And I would invite each of you just to feel that beautiful column of light. Just where you sit, beautiful energy around you. And I want you to take the breath of truth and let it just begin to move through your body. If I cannot see my truth, what is true for me, I cannot change. I will let my truth express. Begin to feel your desire to relate to life in any way, to listen with an open heart. And as you feel that desire, I want you just to listen for one word from Spirit in this moment. One word that will help you this week. And when you have it, say okay out loud. All right. Breathe the word in. And I want you to take a breath and let this beautiful love, this truth, this energy all around you go to all that you love right now. Just send it to everyone. And you may feel some love coming back to you as they receive in return. And let your focus come back to the calm of light. I am safe in the heart of God. And I'm ready for new relationships. Take a breath. And gently open your eyes. Do you know what your homework is? Those of you that are going home to partners that weren't here today, they will certainly be blessed, will they not? This is a month of really learning how to be more authentically who we are so we can create more authentically what we desire. Say yay, God.